All right, let us talk about Sunderland. Now, if you know Sunderland, they are one of the three teams that just got promoted to the Premier League from the Championship. And I feel like next season, Sunderland, they are not going to get relegated. And here is why I think so. Now, here is the midfield three that they might have next season. Habib Diarra, right? Enzo Lefi and Xhaka. If you know Xhaka, the former Arsenal player, Xhaka. Now, let us be honest. This midfield three is not a relegation midfield at all. There is nothing that smells like relegation in this midfield three. In fact, I would say this midfield three is at least a mid-table quality midfield. At least a mid-table quality midfield in the Premier League. Yes, again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Sunderland, they just got promoted from the Championship. Yes, the jump from Championship to the Premier League is always hard. I mean, we've seen teams come to the Premier League and then get relegated. Things like Leeds, Burnley and all that. So, but with this midfield three that I just mentioned earlier on, Habib Diarra, Enzo Lefi and Granit Xhaka, I believe that Sunderland, they will not relegate next season. Now, let's break it down. Habib Diarra is young, he's energetic, box to box, right? He works hard and he covers a lot of ground. He's the kind of player who can press, he's the kind of player who can tackle, and he's the kind of player who can still carry the ball forward. Then let us talk about Enzo Lefi. Now, Enzo Lefi is smart, he's creative, and he's very technical. He can control the reading of the game and he can pick the right passes, right? Players like Enzo Lefi help teams keep the ball, which is key for staying in games. Then we have Granit Xhaka. I mean, Granit Xhaka is an experienced guy. He's a leader. He has that bite. He has that experience. He has played at the top level for years. He played at Arsenal for years. He went on to Bayer Leverkusen. He played at Bayer Leverkusen for a lot of games. And he won trophies there. So he has that leadership. He has that experience. He has been through title race. And he has even captained him. He was once the captain of Arsenal before that drama that happened that they stripped him of his captaincy. So he brings the mentality, brings the discipline, brings the leadership. He brings that bite that Sunderland will need in tough moments. Now, when you put all these three midfielders together, Diarra, Enzo Lefi, and then Xhaka, right? You have energy, you have creativity, and you have leadership in one midfield. That is not what relegation midfields usually look like. The only way I can see Sunderland relegating is if, number one, the coach does not use this midfield trio properly, or number two, the rest of the Sunderland squad, they are far weaker than this midfield trio. But honestly, I doubt that the coach will waste a talent like this. I doubt that the coach is not good enough, because if you are good enough to promote from the Championship to the Premier League, if you get your hands on this type of midfield trio, you should be good enough to remain in the Premier League, right? In the Premier League, survival often comes down to the spine of the team, to the bite, to leadership, to experience. And your midfield is the key part of that. In fact, if you know football very well, you know that midfield is the most important part in the game of football. See, Sunderland's midfield, Sunderland's spine with Diarra, Enzo Lefi and Granit Xhaka, right? They look strong. Yes, they are a newly promoted side from the Championship. Yes, they will have tough games, but there is no way I am calling them relegation favourites with that midfield trio. In fact, I believe that mid-table is very possible for Sunderland. And staying up, I guarantee that Sunderland, they will stay up.